It was a night of great power, when the days grew short, and the spirits of the dead returned
Love
to
this
their
whole sequence.
homes to warm themselves by the fireside. All across the land, huge bonfires were lit. Oh, there was a marvelous celebration. People danced, and they played games, and they dressed up in costumes, hoping to ward off the evil spirits, especially the
boogeyman. What's up, guys? It's time for day 6 of the Road to Halloween 2018 vlog, and just getting warmed up here. Today we're going to be doing my cut, the Blue Myers cut. I'm actually burning it to disc right now because I like the feeling of putting a disc in the player, you know, instead of plugging my external hard drive in there and playing from that. I don't know, there's just something off about that. So I like an actual disc. But before I get going here, I'm actually sitting down and I'm going to be recording my 31 Days of October week 2. Got 6 new guests for you guys, but I figured I'd show you, before I sit down and do it. This is pretty much my setup. What's going on is I go back here and I turn on these lights, and I don't even know if you guys even see those in my videos. Like, sometimes I'm thinking I got so much stuff here that you probably don't even notice the lights anyway, but like back here you got some lights. Yeah, behind Derek Mayo's werewolf from The Howling. Yeah, there's that new Rue Morgue magazine that looks so freaking badass. Just so you guys know, I just picked that up today. That is the Rob Zombie's Halloween Steelbook. And CP, big shout out to you because he noticed this. Look at that font. Doesn't that look familiar? Like maybe they're trying to cash in on something. So anyway, I got it all nice and neat. Now you guys think I can just hop behind the camera at any time. I can't. I have to be, lubed and ready, I guess you could say. And I got to have all this stuff set up. It's a process. So, and I got to make sure my batteries are full. I got to make sure my camera's at like the right angle. Like there's my camera right there. Everything's got to be like, the mood's got to be right. And other YouTubers can tell you this too. When they're in their comfort zone, their space, it's easier to shoot a video than if you're out and about on the road or if you're in a hotel or something like that. I don't know. There's just, you got to feel comfortable. And just in case you guys are wondering, there is my H6 mask, because I replaced it with Amongst Dead Things mask right there. And before I sit down to record this 31 Days of October, I'm gonna go outside because I want you guys to see this view. And I mowed the yard today actually, but yeah, look at this view. Isn't that gorgeous? Just a beautiful view. I always say I got Camp Crystal Lake in the backyard and I got Haddonfield in the front because my front yard looks like Haddonfield. Do you guys want to go see the front yard? Let's do it. All right, going out to the front yard right now. And when I say it looks like Haddonfield, I mean it looks like Haddonfield. Pretty nice street. Really quiet right now. Nobody out. My neighborhood's always pretty quiet though. But yeah, you see behind me, that looks like Haddonfield. Love the trees in this neighborhood. It's one of the few neighborhoods in Melbourne that's not just like completely engulfed with palm trees everywhere. It's got some palm trees, but it has those like natural Midwestern looking trees. So it's gonna be perfect for tonight's viewing, Halloween 6. Blue Myers cut. Blue Myers cut is a mixture of the theatrical cut and the producer's cut. The theatrical ending, it's got some nice producer's cut extra dialogue in there. So I figure we'll do that. It'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, I gotta go record for 31 days and then I'll see you after that. So the disc is burned. I used image burn. Here's a blank Blu-ray. This is 25 gigs. That's the size of that disc. 25 gigs. And we're going to put it in here in moment of truth, see if it works. Taking out the Halloween 5. And putting in the Blue Myers cut. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's a good sign right there. Halloween Curse of Michael Myers Drumdums cut. There you go. Blue Myers Drumdums cut. So, yeah, looks like we are go for launch. Here we go, guys. Halloween 6. The Curse of Michael Myers. Again, my Blue Myers cut is what we're doing. So, we're starting off with the producer's cut. This is, and it bounces between producers and theatrical. But I'll go through some of the scenes along the way as we're doing this and point out certain things and why I preferred to go this route. And, but yeah, the intro here, we got Jamie Lloyd, in this Smith's Grove Sanitarium. And, it was hard for me to connect Smith's Grove to this because it doesn't look like a sanitarium. It looks like, I guess it looks like a cult type deal, But everybody's wearing these goofy looking costumes. But as we all know, this movie tried to explain that whole Thorn angle, what they were trying to do with part 5. That was, Daniel Farrance had a job ahead of him, trying to tie up all those loose ends, explain who the Man in Black was. And I think under the circumstances, as messy as the story is in Halloween 6, he did a pretty good job. And the final result isn't what he wrote. So I have not read his full script, so I don't know the differences, but yeah, I know I think he's happier with the producer's cut than he is with the theatrical, because I mean the last act of the theatrical is just not at all what he wrote. So but there's my first edit right there. There's one scene where she lets out this like guttural scream, and it was just one too many when she's giving birth. We get the idea. She's giving birth. It almost got laughable. So I took that out. That was my first big edit. And I'm going to snap a pic right here, and we're going to post it on Killer Flicks and get your comments rolling in. Now for the open narration, I went with Pleasance. My goal in this cut was to get as much of Donald Pleasance in it as I could. And so that's why I took a lot of those scenes from the producer's cut and I plugged them in here. But I remember when I first saw this, I thought this was like maybe a flashback of when Myers was first born, because I didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And then quickly I realized, oh, okay, this is Jamie Lloyd's child. So I was a little lost when I first watched this. And then, of course, I left this scene in. When they showed the aftermath, we actually see Daniel Harris right there. You got to keep that in. Anything that can connect you to the last movie, you want to keep it in there. And we're going to see a scene here real quick where they actually pull Myers into that van. And that was, I believe, shot for this production. And then right here we just switched to the theatrical cut. And a big reason is because I like the music that was used in the theatrical cut. I like the rock style score. So I tried to keep that rock vibe as much as I could, just because it's different. It sets itself apart from the rest of the franchise. It's not a bad choice, at least in my opinion. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they hate the rock score in Halloween 6. Even for people that don't like Halloween 6. I love the rock score. I think it sounds cool. Let me just back that up just for a sec. That's gotta be on this video. Yeah, this is our first kill. This is a great introduction to Myers. George P. Wilbur, I think, did a great job as Myers. Yes, he's a little bulky, but if this Myers is coming after you, you're probably gonna be scared shitless. And it's a great opening kill, even though I don't know why that spike was on the wall, but it served its purpose. And I'm literally posting right now on Killer Flicks. Halloween 6, and we're off. Who wants a shout out? So I just posted this, and look at that. All that is already rolling in. Yeah, I was just telling my wife earlier, there's something about Halloween 6. I mean, the fans they love this movie, or they hate it. But for some reason, when I do a Halloween 6 review, I get the most views off of that movie. It's weird. There's just something so unique about it. And I love it. I love it to death. But and it's fun to talk about. Like, I could literally pick every scene in this movie and say something about it, you know? Like, there's Tommy Doyle. Paul Rudd playing Tommy Doyle. This was Paul Rudd's first role, by the way. Barry Sims on the radio, the iconic shot right there. But, you know, Brian Andrews, they sought him out to play Tommy Doyle, but he didn't have an agent, so they couldn't find him. So I'm kind of glad that they got Paul Rudd. I think he just had that. I think he's a better actor than Brian Andrews probably was, because I don't think Brian Andrews was working much after he did the first Halloween. And Paul Rudd, you can even see like his auditions before he got this part, and he, you know, even at this point, I think he was a great actor. He might have overdid it just a little bit, but yeah, he was still a great actor. Now this is from the producer's cut. I left this in. Yeah, I left the longer cut where we first meet Loomis from the producer's cut in there. And I think that those first like 2/3 of the producer's cut, from a storytelling standpoint, do what needs to be done. It makes the story coherent. It makes things make sense, more importantly. And as a bonus, we get more Loomis. And then right there, that's where they went with the theatrical cut. You just got just that little bit. Not dead, just very much retired. And then you get this full, long conversation between Wynn and Loomis. All that stuff needed to be in there, I think. And that's why I had to put it in my cut. Guys, check that out. This is the VHS style slip cover, but it's still the Blu-ray of Halloween 6. Walmart exclusive. Those are badass. But I had to show this off because I'm doing Halloween 6. And I just love that cover. Too cool. But let's go ahead and do some shout outs real quick, because they're pouring in, guys. Literally pouring in. So you got a few quotes from the movie here. Blake Garner says, "Take your baby and go." Gareth Morgan says, "Obviously me," of course. Robert Gallagher, "I want to shout out." There you go. Blake Garner has another quote. "Go now." Cody Leach, "Give us the Blue Myers Scream Factory release. Put Loomis on the cover art." I'd be totally down for that. I would do that shit for free. Andrew Burton, "Me please." Danny McLennan, shout outs. Donnie Schaefer, love it. Blake Garner, jumping in there again. "I'll be an attention whore shirt. Shout out, shout me out." Anthony Rodriguez, "The Blu-ray transfer is so beautiful." Yes, it is. The one that I just did, it's a full 1080p version. I think I'm the only one that has that. The one that I sent out to you guys that have requested it, I think that's like a 720p version. This is the full real deal that I'm watching. Only copy in existence. Alexander, I can never say your last name right, Alec, but Muskovic? Jump, I'm sure I butchered that. Joseph Trainer says, "Nah, it's okay, go on then." Jeremy Elliott, this guy does. "I'm actually continuing my Halloween marathon tonight on preparation for H 2018 as well." Sweet. Mike Calkins, "Me." Wolf Myers, "What's up, brother?" One of these is coming your way. Me. George Hernandez, "What's up, brother?" He says, enjoying some pizza and sweet tea. Now I want to watch Halloween 6, brother. I'm in the Myers mood. I had pizza tonight too, actually. Robbie Sobel, shout out for sure. While I like the producer's cut better, both are fun. I much prefer the theatrical cut. But Michael Mims, Drumdums, rocks my socks. Tim Swope says, "This better be the Blue Myers edition." You didn't check out my hashtag, Tim. Sammy Klinger, me. Logan Lane Watson, literally a text my wife sent me the other day as a reference to this movie. And it says, "Tell Paul Rudd he's got to share." It says Steven. Next up I got David Latch. It says, "Me, I love this movie. From what I heard behind the scenes, the producers hated the actress that played Kara." Yes, Kara did not have a great time on the set of this. I thought she did a great job though, actually. I liked her. Zachary Clark, I would love one. Dennis Fries. Brandon Tabato, dude, check this out. Let's see what he's got. Wow, this is cool. Brandon, I'm gonna put this is gonna go on this. It says, "Hi Brandon, just wanted to let you know I told Stacey Nelkin and Tommy Lee Wallace about your return of the Witch fan film," which he did a fan film for Halloween 3. It's a sequel. I went to the Halloween H40 convention, and they had a lot of the cast there. Stacy said you stole 3 words of their title. Tommy Lee Wallace seemed really interested about it. I told them it's going to be on YouTube this month. That is too freaking cool. They're still pouring in, guys. Antoine Midnight Mars Thomas. What's up, Antoine? How you doing, brother? He says, I'd love one. Steven Sadakovsky. He does not want a shout out, so I will not give him a shout out. Travis Rican says, I'll take a shout out only if Dr. Loomis gets a spinoff series. I would totally be down for that. And thank you guys all for the praise for the Dr. Loomis skits with Cody's review series that's going on right now. Wade Dillon, me. Logan Lane Watson. I'd love one, though, for real. Austin Johnson, Blue Myers for the win. Bryson Burrows, shout out for sure. This is a very underrated sequel. My 5th favorite in the franchise. L.C. Greer, me good sir. Norman Fleming Jr., me. Nick Vargas, holy crap. Holly Klein, James Feliciano, Jeffrey Balmer, Dennis Walter. The question is, do I deserve a shout out? Dennis, yes you do. Theo Lotus. Cody Archer, what's up, Lee? Nothing like good old Halloween 6. Shane Saborski. This is the true way to watch Halloween 6. Great point of view on the movie Brother. So that was a lot of shout outs, guys. Holy crap. Okay, we just went to the scene where Jamie Lloyd is killed. And this is the theatrical cut. Would I have liked it to have been a more respectable kill? Yes, but I wanted her dead in my cut early. You know, I didn't think there was any reason for letting her linger on and being stabbed and then getting shot in the head. Plus, you shouldn't be killing people with guns in Halloween movies, unless it's Michael Myers. And if you watch the behind the scenes on this, JC Brandy said she lost, I think, like 10 pounds or something like that when she came back to do the reshoot. So that's why she looks a little thinner in this scene. But yeah, that's a brutal kill. I mean, Myers does not hold back in this movie. You know, I mean, I think that's much better than going the PG-13 route. Like, you know, some might say H2O. Although H2O has a couple good kills, but nothing to this level. Yeah, and there's a great example of the theatrical cut score. You know, just really psychotic sounding and in your face. Now we are back to the producer's cut. Although I think in the theatrical version they do use a little bit of the theme from the first movie. But there's a little bit more going on in the producer's cut in the Myers house with John and Deborah Strode. But look at that atmosphere. That's one thing I love about Halloween 6. All those leaves on the ground. This looks like Halloween. You know, 4, 5, and 6 were all filmed in Salt Lake City. And I wouldn't mind if every Halloween film was shot in Salt Lake City. So Dan Man just failed the Tim Strode stomach pounder challenge. But there's a little bit of an extra scene for that one too. Where they're in the kitchen when he's making the stomach pounder. But Daryl Haynes wanted a shout out, and here's a picture of him in his Halloween 6 mask, which looks pretty badass actually. I love my Halloween 6 mask. But yeah, this guy, John Strode. Bradford English, what he brought to John Strode, I mean, you know, that's a backseat character. And a lot of character actors are not gonna, you know, they're just gonna play it safe. But boy, he went for broke with this character. You know, he's very memorable. He's one of those characters that you constantly remember from this movie. Now, I remember seeing this in the theater, and then when Danny picks that knife up and puts it to him, I remember everybody in the theater was like, ooh. And that was because of Bradford English's performance. You know, by this point, everybody hated the guy. You hated the guy within like 5 minutes. That's a great actor. And there's Myers. The whole kill for him thing kind of reminded me of Freddy's Revenge a little bit when he's telling Jesse to kill for him. But yeah, there it is. And from this point, I was like, ooh, where are they going to go with this story? You know, are they going to follow through with that? And obviously they didn't. But just an interesting thing, you know, that Myers' curse could be passed to yet another child. You know, this is the way to do it as a child. Like what Rob Zombie did with young Myers in his remake. When he lashed out, he yelled. What they had Danny do in this made much more sense. He was quiet. You know, he acted like Myers acted when he killed Judith. Now, I switched over to the theatrical because I wanted the Brother Kane song in here. I don't know you know, the fact that this came out in the 90s and that song just really encapsulates the 90s perfectly. Halloween 6 feels like a 90s movie. Probably more than, you know, H2O even though H2O feels like a Scream movie. This, it feels like a full-on 90s flick, and with a hard edge. And I think the Brother Kane song, it needed to be in there. I hated that they took that out of the producer's cut. But I think Brother Kane actually has a couple songs. One in the credits, I believe, and then one in the movie. But a couple songs on the soundtrack. But there's an extra scene coming up here from the producer's cut. Yeah, here it is. So, yeah, I switched it over to the producer's cut right here. And it's just a nice extra scene, you know. It doesn't really serve a huge purpose, but we get to know a little bit more about Carl. We get to follow her home. It's got a little bit of that vibe from the first Halloween. Yeah. You know, when we see Laurie Strode and Annie and Linda walking home from school. So I think this sequel has a lot of callbacks to the original, actually. And that's another reason why it works. And that's one of the few scenes where you see Myers walking around stalking in the day. That's one of the problems I didn't like with 5. I think 5 had way too much Myers in the day, and I think you don't want to do that. You start getting yourself in trouble when you have too much Myers in the day. I like Myers at night. I like him lit up all blue. Yeah, he's just scarier at night. This one, I think he's, you know, he's lurking around probably at least 80% of this movie at night. Then we got Tommy meeting Loomis for the first time. Look at Loomis. I look at Donald Pleasance. You know, this is a 6th movie in a franchise that by this point it's dying, and he still just gives it 100%. You know, and just his mannerisms and his delivery. You know, I just have the utmost respect for this man. Still get sad when I think about Donald Pleasance, who had a birthday a couple weeks ago. He would have been 99 years old. So, you know, you can see by this point he's pretty damn old. Yeah, but you know, Tommy Doyle, he says, "Hey, about Michael, it's just a theory of mine." This is where it kicks in. Daniel Farron's script idea. You know, his theory is pretty much the whole purpose of this script, to try to understand the, you know, why Myers is evil, but still make it creepy. And I think he actually did a pretty good job. You know, they didn't give away too much, and you know, even that backstory is a little interesting, but still creepy. There's Mrs. Blankenship just passed by. Guys, I mean, tons of freaking shout-outs are rolling in for this one. This is crazy. I'm just going to say the names because there's so many, you know, and if there's something really interesting I want to say, then I'll say it. But James Palmore, Jeffrey Betterton. James Betterton says Halloween 6 has the best soundtrack of the series. I love the soundtrack to this one, actually. So I almost kind of agree with you, but I still prefer the first one. But yeah, I love the soundtrack just because of how different it is. Yeah, there's Loomis telling the story, you know, why you should be scared, you know, that you're up shit creek. Alex Salter, Jack Pallas, who says he likes the Blue Myers cut the best. Thank you, Jack. Luke Mazer, who does this Google Street View of the house from Halloween 6. Right there. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty badass. I've always wanted to go to Salt Lake City to see that house. Doug Dobbs said, watch the Blue Myers cut this morning. Great job. Thanks, Doug. That's awesome. Matthew Steele, Brad Heath, John Schwartz, James Cameron Ward, Michael Bragg, Matthew Steele, Mitch Leavitt, Bobby Hall, who has his own cut of Halloween 6. And I know Bobby from Blu-ray.com as well. So we're good friends on there. But yeah, he's got a pretty ambitious cut of this movie. So look him up on Killer Flicks. He could probably hook you up with it. John Villarreal, Mitch Leavitt, Tiffany Moses, Michael Bragg, Lucas Vieira, Ike Blanton. There's one of those cues. You know, the theatrical cut has a different, more punchy score, you know, from a sound design standpoint. Lucas Ferreira, whose birthday was, I think, yesterday, so happy birthday, Lucas. Ike Blanton and Kevin Fitzpatrick. He says, we'll take a shout out and watch the Blue Myers cut not long ago, and it's so much better to me. Loved it. Awesome, thank you. But yeah, this is, Myers is about to take care of Deborah. Her name is on the tip of my tongue, but she was on Better Off Dead, which is a fantastic movie, one of my favorite comedies from the 80s. So this is the angle where Ferens was trying to explain why Michael was killing members of his own family. So, you know, it was more of like an astrology angle, I guess. You know, the reason why Myers was killing his family. Which is a little bit far-fetched, but, you know, I guess you got to come up with something. You know, and plus this is a 6th movie, so in their defense, by the 6th movie, you want to give a little bit of something without giving everything away. And just so you guys know, my wife came up with this idea. Actually, for the Resurrection vlog, I'm going to let Killer Flicks take over that vlog. So I posted a post on Killer Flicks. If you post a video below, talk about Resurrection, if you know, what you like, what you don't like about it, say something funny about it, whatever. And I'm going to take some or maybe all of those videos and put them in that vlog, which will drop Monday. So go find that thread. It's going to be in Killer Flicks somewhere. And if you're not a member of Killer Flicks, then of course you'll want to become a member. But yeah, you get to hijack my Resurrection vlog, which is pretty cool. Oh, here we go. One of my favorite scenes.
It was a night of great power, when the days grew short, and the spirits of the dead returned.
Love
to
this
their
whole sequence.
homes to warm themselves by the fireside. All across the land, huge bonfires were lit. Oh, there was a marvelous celebration. People danced, and they played games, and they dressed up in costumes, hoping to ward off the evil spirits, especially the
boogeyman.
What's the boogeyman?
Oh, that's so great. I love that. That whole line is just perfect. Fits in a Halloween movie just flawlessly.
Just like the other boy.
Rest in peace, Mrs. Blankenship. That nice old lady died quite a few years ago, actually. But she actually recited that speech again at the 25th anniversary convention, which is so cool. And you can see that on the actual 25 Years of Terror DVD. And there was Myers right behind her. And we're about to get to Barry Sims here pretty soon. You see what I'm talking about? I'm trying to turn off the camera and walk away for a little bit, but then another scene pops up. And people ask me why I love Halloween 6 so much. This actress right here, she has an interview on the behind the scenes, the brand new documentary on the deluxe edition, which, you know what, I'm going to pull that out and share that to you guys. But great interview with her about her whole experience, and she actually enjoyed it. But guys, I wanted to show off my prized possession. Look at that. The deluxe edition still looks gorgeous too. Isn't that great? And what a lot of people don't know is the deluxe edition actually comes with this book here, this little book. But you know, all the discs are black, single discs. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, there's the Halloween 6 one right there. And just, I mean, loaded with special features, especially for 6 H2O. This one's got a brand new documentary on it. 4 and 5 as well, but those are going to be on disc 2 of the Halloween 2 disc. It's weird how they did that, but they didn't put them on the 4 and 5 discs. They put them on this bonus features disc right here. That has the 4 and 5 documentaries, but part 6 is on the 6th disc. And he's about to get his, John Strode. Let's lift that up so you guys can see it. There you go. Great kill. And this is the theatrical cut kill, where his head explodes. You know what? It's a slasher. In a slasher movie, you're gonna want your kills to be as big as possible. Yeah, and those are all hot dogs. So, but this book here is actually pretty badass. Yeah, there's Rob Zombie's Halloween on the back. Yeah, but a lot of cool stuff in this book.
Halloween has represented everything that's wrong with Haddonfield.
And you can only get this on the deluxe edition.
There is no boogeyman.
Yes, there is. And then just to show this off real quick, this is the Mondo Birth Death Movies Halloween edition. Lots of great stuff in here. And pretty much covers mostly the first movie, I think. But you can see some other stuff like Jamie Lee Curtis's career. Look at that picture right there. That is badass. Yeah, but there's something on the thing. So, you know, it covers John Carpenter's career. There's a nice picture of the Terminator. And there's something from the movie Joe, which is directed by David Gordon Green, who's directing the new movie. So it covers the new movie, covers the original, and some other stuff. But really cool book from Mondo. And since we're showing off a little bit, look at that. Halloween 6 on VHS. Dan Wolf, I believe, sent this to me. And every time I see this, I'm like, thank you, Dan Wolf. Isn't that gorgeous? The actual VHS of Halloween 6. Everybody loves that scene. The It's Raining Red scene. Barry Sims, he's been pretty much split from pretty much up the midsection. Oh, I love this scene. One of my favorites. This is pretty crazy because it's like a 1-2 punch. She sees that her friend's in danger. What she sees is scary as hell, and then she looks over and her son is walking into that house. That is great storytelling right there. I mean, it's a great scare tactic. Which John Carpenter was a master of that anyway. He mastered the 1-2 punch. You know, you grab them and then you grab them again, and that's basically what that scene did. So now she's got to go to the house where she just saw this murder happen, and she's got to find her son. You don't see too many slasher movies that do that, that make the victim go to the house where they just saw, where the killer is pretty much. And you'll notice that most of the kills in this movie are from the theatrical cut. In my cut of the movie, it's from the theatrical cut. I just like the punch of all the kills. You know, I tried to get that theatrical score in this as much as possible, but still having a lot of those great character moments from the producer's cut. And from here on out, guys, it's freaking balls to the wall. Most of this from here on out is from the theatrical cut. There is a scene that I took from the producers and kind of plugged it in there in the middle, and I'll show you that when it gets here. Yeah, but this scene right here, you know, you hear that it's kind of like a raised scream. That's not in the producer's cut. The producer's cut has more of a traditional scare sound. This is just a little bit more psychotic, and I like that. But you know, this is stuff that could be in the last act of the movie, and we're not yet in the last act of the movie. So it's just another reason why I think 6 is so effective. And there's George P. I can't believe when I first watched this, I didn't realize that in the theatrical cut, it was a different actor, A. Michael Lerner. You know, because he is much thinner in the third act of the theatrical cut. But maybe that's just because I was so involved in the movie that I didn't really notice. Look at that. I mean, set design, cinematography, everything's just top notch in 6. And then Myers comes through, grabs the axe out of Deborah Strode, and reuses it. It's just too awesome. Oh, that's a gift that I see all the time, that Myers walking towards the house. Very similar to the original, but with a little bit of that Halloween 6 panache to it. This is the big reveal. The man in black is Wynn himself, which I wasn't surprised when we finally find out, but I think this is the only Halloween movie that has a big, like, reveal. You know, most of them are pretty straightforward. Yep, Wynn is, and he sells it. He does a pretty good job. But you know, I'm glad that they didn't in the theatrical cut they didn't have too much of that the cult stuff. It got really out of hand. The costumes were kind of weird. I don't know. It was a little bit too hokey. Yeah, this is a scene from the producer's cut that I left in there when Tommy Doyle's telling him that he thinks Myers is under the influence. You know, that's pretty much all I wanted to give as far as the Thorn cult. Just enough to explain, you know, a lot of the questions that people have about the theatrical cut, because it does leave a little bit too much information out. So it kind of ties up those loose threads. So I plugged stuff like that in this cut. And of course, this scene right here between Loomis and Wynn. You know, because in the theatrical cut, they didn't really give that much. This one, you know, Wynn, he explains his motivations. And yeah, I think it's just a much better scene. Yep, some more producer's cut. I believe this is producer's cut footage. I know it is once he gets down into the corridors, you know, the underbelly of the cult, I guess. Yeah, this is definitely from the producer's cut. Yeah, I think this is all stuff that needed to be in like a final cut of the movie. I don't know why they didn't put it in the theatrical cut, because it's still gelled with the theatrical ending. I always like this line. That was not Donald Pleasance that took that fall. Yeah, and I definitely wanted to leave this in there just because I think it's a, you know, aesthetically it's a cool scene. You know, Tommy Doyle going below Smith's Grove, going into, and it's a nice little bridge into the theatrical cut. You know, there you go. Now we're in the theatrical cut. How did he get down there? So I thought that was a nice little plug in there. And now we're deep into the theatrical cut. The theatrical third act. And from this point on, I don't know why people don't prefer the theatrical cut, because there's so much great stuff from this point on. Visually. You know. Just from a horror movie standpoint. Everything you would want in a horror movie. Look how cool Myers looks in this scene. And then I think Paul Rudd really nails this scene right here. Look at that. A little bit psychotic. The music is perfect. Yeah, this is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. You know, he's got to hurry his ass up and get in that room because he's about to be dead. Look at that shot of Myers. Oh my God. That's how you light a mask, people. And a word on the mask, I think the 6 mask is probably the second best mask. You know, I prefer it over the original sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's just so intense. You know, I think what you want in a third act is you don't want it to end. And that's what it was like when I saw this in the theater. I did not want it to end. It was just such, you know, cool stuff coming at you. And I think they shot this whole thing in like a weekend without permission. They didn't even tell Paul Freeman, the producer. They didn't tell Malika Akkad or Mustafa Akkad. They just went and shot it, you know, without permission, because Joe Chappelle wanted to get a film made. You know, they didn't want it to just sit there and never be released. So he wanted to finish the film because Donald Pleasance died. So they went and made this third act. And then we got the lab massacre coming up. I mean, just boom, 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 people. I mean, there's a few scenes in this third act of Halloween 6 that are my favorite scenes in the franchise. And George P. Wilbur is actually one of those doctors that gets killed in that lab massacre. There's another moment where they're in danger, but then they see Danny, and then they're like in more danger because they want to save him. Yeah, Myers is one creepy dude in this movie. Check him out. I remember in the theater when he picks up this freaking knife that's like twice as long as a normal knife. Everybody was just like, oh shit, this is gonna be crazy. Yeah, here you go. Picks up the knife. No, that knife's not good enough. Let's get this one. Look at that thing. Like as big as a machete. This scene is just so crazy. I think this topped my list too, like top Myers kills. This was my number one, for obvious reasons. I love how they got the strobe in there. Just an amazing scene. Just beautifully shot. Imagine seeing that in a theater. I mean, look at that visually. That's just insane looking. With the red lighting, you got Myers coming after A. Michael Lerner's father. Let's zoom in on that. Slams his head right through the freaking bars. Yeah, this third act just does not let up at all. And maybe that's why some people don't like it, because, you know, pacing wise, it's just balls to the wall. It never stops, never slows down. But you know, so by the time it's all over, you're just like gasping for breath. And then we got the pipe beat down coming up pretty soon. And I have never covered the theatrical ending on a Dwatch before, so this is cool, because my last Dwatch for Halloween 6 was the producer's cut. So it's really cool to finally be able to talk about this last scene, because it's probably one of my favorite last scenes of a Halloween movie. I mean, it was just so satisfying. Like the scariest version of Myers. You got the greatest lighting. You got this awesome pipe beat down. You know, and I know some people don't really care for the pipe beat down, but yeah, I loved it. And I think this is the most evil. Look at that. Oh my God, that's insane. That's like the most evil version of Myers you can imagine. You never see his eyes throughout this whole movie. You know, Buechler did such a great job with this mask. That is, I believe, George P. Wilbur's face, too, that they used for this mask. But, I mean, from a lighting standpoint, atmospherically, just insane looking. Slams him full of this liquid. Michael is pretty much superhuman in this movie. You know, there's no question. Like, you can question the first movie, you can question some of the sequels, but in this one, he is a freaking evil being. You know, he is supernatural. You know, there's no human element whatsoever. He is the definition of a force. Cool scene coming up here. Just, you know, talking about seeing this in the theater. When she almost pulls that mask off, I remember everybody in the theater just completely freaking out, because Myers was so scary up to this point that the thought of what was behind that mask was like you almost didn't want to see, because it'd be just too terrifying. And up to this point, we had, besides the first movie, we had never seen what was behind the mask fully. Like, even in 5, it's still really dark. It's in shadows. And I liked it like that. I never wanted to see what was behind that mask. I think that's what made Myers so scary. You know, like in Friday the 13th, they show Jason's face in almost every movie. But there was just a mystique to Myers. It's obvious there is no reasoning with Myers whatsoever in this movie at all. You know, if he's coming at you, you are freaking dead meat. And there we go. We got the pipe beat down going right now. Yep. Tommy Doyle just had enough of Myers, and yeah, this is just about going to wrap it up, guys. Look at that. Love the editing in this. That's how you make a scary Halloween movie. And then, yeah, this scene always makes me sad. You know, that final scene with Loomis. It's the last time we'll ever see Loomis in a Halloween movie. It gets me sad every time. Man, I miss that man. Miss you, Loomis. What he was to the franchise. Just amazing. He is the reason why Halloween is so loved. If you didn't have Loomis, then, yeah, I'm speechless. But the final scene right here, and, you know, some people, they don't like scenes that are just, I don't know, just kind of open-ended, left to interpretation. That's really what this scene was. And really, it's just because Loomis, Donald Pleasance had died. So, yeah, in memory of Donald Pleasance. And then you hear Brother Kane. Oh, guys, we did it. That was the end of Road to Halloween 2018 daily vlog, day 6, Halloween 6, Blue Myers cut. A few more shout outs here. Let me turn this down. Okay, a few more shout outs here. We got Neil Tambaugh, Jess Colmus, Erin R. Ellerby, Dylan Wyatt Brown, Daryl Haynes again, Derek Smith, and Sebastian Flores, Ethan Rowe, Jeffrey G. Cool, and Zach Bileski, Bradley Millis, Steve Testa, Santino Bucaro, Robert Schumann, and Terry Clark. Thank you all for requesting a shout out. And yeah, look at all those freaking people though. Yeah, but anyway, guys, that's it for this. This is pretty much the Drumdums watches. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and now Stardust. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Got a lot of editing to do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.